Yo, it's Elliot with Yo Elliot. You got strength questions and I've got your answers.
Yo, Elliot.
Well, today we got a great question about strength and athleticism as it relates to weight gain and weight loss. Check it out.
In your personal experience, how have gains or losses in lean body weight affected your gym and strongman lifts versus your sprinting and jumping abilities? Like, when you're up at 260 pounds, I'm assuming, yeah, you're probably a little stronger in the gym, but then your jumping and your quickness kind of suffered a little bit, I'm assuming. And then how does that compare with when you're down at 200 pounds?
All right, buddy, thanks for your question. Here's how we're going to approach it. My history is as follows. About 5 years ago, I got involved in the sport of strongman. Naturally, I'm usually pretty strong and fast, so I did really well at the amateur level. As I continued to win shows, I, like any other athlete, had aspirations of going professional, which I did. Now, on the road to becoming a professional, I decided to eat whatever was in front of my face and use steroids to gain weight and strength so that I could win my pro card and become a professional athlete. And it worked. Now, those of you who've been following me for a while know my history and know that I injured myself, then had an awakening and realized that, I'm not being the strongest version of myself. I'm not fulfilling my true potential. I was eating poorly, living a moderate lifestyle, as well as using steroids, which is not the best way to really achieve your total holistic health as an individual. So I backed off, I stopped strongman training, I lost about 50 pounds. Now, at this time, I've decided that I'm going to take on the challenge of becoming a professional once again, only this time without stuffing my face full of crappy food so that I gain tons of fat, as well as being 100% natural. Now, this is going to take a little bit of a different approach, one that requires a lot more attention to detail, as well as a lot more effort outside the gym. One of the greatest things about steroids is it allowed me to do whatever I felt like outside of the gym and still recover from heavy workouts. Now, at this point, I do not suggest you go out and use steroids. That's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to show you how it's possible to be strong, small, and natural. And like you'll see in a couple months, I am going to be able to achieve the strength that I did at a much higher weight, at the weight I am now, 100% natural. Here's the plan for making that happen. I've set up this diagram here for you where you see leaner and stronger. Now, this is my plan and this is what I did in order to continue to get stronger while I've lost all this weight. And you can do this if you'd like to achieve the same result. So one of the biggest things that I do, instead of training muscles like I had in the past, where I just beat the crap out of my muscles with powerlifting, bodybuilding, and strongman training, now I just train the nervous system to get more efficient at the events that I'm going to use for strongman. So no longer do I use barbells for back squats. I don't back squat at all any longer. I don't bench press. I really don't do too many bodybuilding exercises. My training consists solely of what will need to be done during strongman competition. So when I say I'm training nerves instead of muscles, I'm more interested in the pattern associated with the exercise or the event than the muscles associated with it. I hope that makes sense. Now, the fact is that this is working, and as you saw in one of my videos yesterday, I loaded a 320-pound stone 7 times in 1 minute. Now, if you've been following me for a while, 2 years ago when I won my pro card as a strongman, I had the same exact weight in the stones, and I won my pro card with only 5 reps in 60 seconds. Now, mind you, I'm about 40 or 50 pounds lighter than I was then. So this works. The other thing is, I spend a lot of time and focus on nervous system balance. And what that means is that I make sure that my musculoskeletal system is aligned in such a way that it's feeding all my muscles the greatest voltage of electricity or nervous power. And the way I make sure that happens is by seeing a atlas or a advanced orthogonal or an upper cervical specialist. Yesterday I put an interview with my friend and my practitioner that allows me to continue to get stronger through the service that he provides by keeping my atlas in place. Now, this video is not intended to teach you or to convince you to use this type of service, but you can check out that blog post to learn more. The other thing is muscle virus correction. So I spend a lot of time now, as opposed to what I did before, with corrective stretching and exercising. So that means a lot more mobility stuff, a lot more foam roller stuff, and a lot more of understanding my unique muscular imbalances and stretching and strengthening in such a fashion to alleviate the imbalances that would cause all types of injury and pain, deterioration, and lack of performance. Massage is a big part of what I do now. So about 1 to 3 times a month, I get massage. Now this costs a little bit more than than foam rolling or something where you're doing self-myofascial release, but I find that it's super effective for getting me to recover just as fast as I had when I used anabolic steroids, but naturally. So massage is definitely on my list, and if you're looking to get stronger by training as hard as I do, and recovery is an issue, massage is going to be something that helps you out. The other thing is I spend a lot more time meditating. Now you might wonder why meditation would be on a list that's associated with strength training. The reason why is because there's a lot of nervous system resistance when you've got stress going on in your life. And who doesn't have stress going on in their lives? When you meditate, it's like you're essentially shutting off all of the stimulus that's being received through your eyes, ears, thoughts. And when you shut down that stimulus, your entire body, your musculoskeletal system, your visceral system, all get an opportunity to relax. And it's much different than just sleeping relax. This is a deep meditative state where your parasympathetic nervous system is stimulated and you're actually sitting in an anabolic state for 30 minutes to 60 minutes, which is what I do every day. The other thing is digestive health. One of the things that you know that I'm obsessed about is physiological strength, making sure that your organs, viscera is healthy, because your muscles are an expression of what's going on with your organs. So what I made sure that I did this year was get regular checkups by my functional medicine practitioner, Dr. Kalish, and he also discovered that I had some digestive issues that needed to be cleared up. In the past, I really didn't care because I was stuffing my face with anything that had calories and using anabolic steroids to get stronger. Now I take a more holistic approach by making sure that my digestive system is healthy, so I eat less food yet receive more nourishment. Consistent diet is a big part of that. Having a consistent diet means that I eat the same thing every single day at the same time. Now, I'm not a dietitian, and nor is diet one of my specialties, but I follow what I follow now is like a bodybuilding type diet where I eat sweet potatoes, always have a vegetable, and a lean meat about 3 to 5 times, usually about 5 times a day. Now I can't give you any ideas about why that works and why it's working so well for me right now, but just know that it was given to me by my uncle and it works wonders, especially with keeping my body weight low. The other thing is that I'm also heavily involved in the study and the practice of bioenergetic therapy and exercise. Now, like I mentioned earlier, as it was associated with meditating, your body is a physical representation of the thoughts, the emotions, the feelings that you have. You know this is evident when you're stressed out and your shoulders shrug up. What happens is over time that becomes habitual, and a lot of those emotions get trapped in your tissue, in your muscle. Bioenergetic exercise and therapy, which I'm studying, learning now, and I'll teach you more about later on, releases the physical tension associated with stressors that are unique to you. So everybody has a character structure. You may hold a lot of tension in your hips or in your low back, as most people do, or in your neck and shoulders. So the idea here is to analyze the character structure of the individual and use exercises to eliminate the physical stress associated with it. So you can see here that this is a far more holistic. It takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of effort, and I promise you this is not for everyone. If you're looking for shortcuts, this is the long cut. But I would invite you to take a look at, study, learn more, follow my blog, follow my videos, learn all you can about these methods for becoming the strongest version of yourself, because this is the right way to do it. I hope that helps. I'll talk to you next time.
Yo, Elliot!